So, hey, folks, as you know, we have, sad news that is going on right now. We have Collin Knapp has been arrested in connection with Kathleen Moore's murder. It has been moved to a murder from what I have gathered with the online information from Pasco County. It's bittersweet. Like, I'm so happy and thankful that he has been caught and he will be brought to justice. But it's very sad for the Moore family tonight as they learn that their daughter will not be here for Christmas. It's very sad. It's just very sad. So, sorry, just getting some other things tightened up here. So as soon as Pasco County goes live, just in a few moments, we will be bringing their live stream to you on here. So we are hopeful and thankful for this live stream. So we're just going to sit tight and just go forward here. So the rules of engagement, as many people have been on here, we do have some infiltrators into the YouTube channel, pulling attention away from Kathleen Moore. I don't know what their intention is upon that. It is a sad day for us here. We worked very hard. We were hoping that she would be brought home alive. We are finding out today that is not the case. However, Collin Knapp, the only person of interest. And again, the reason why I say that is because, our media, our mainstream media has, and I am coming down on them very hard, and I'm going to be very harsh of our local media here. One, because they refuse to give this case much attention. It was only after that I started calling them out and my followers started blowing their Twitter and YouTube pages up with their disgust over the fact that they failed to bring media attention to Kathleen Moore after all the attention that Gabby Petito got, another case that I worked. And so I'm very upset about that. So this woman's life mattered. And WFLA had the audacity to basically tell friends of Kathleen Moore that there's just not enough attention. They don't pick the news, this, that, and the other. It was absolutely disgusting. Shame on Hey JB, shame on Josh, shame on WFLA. Very displeased with their behavior as journalists and media as a whole in mainstream media. So I want to make sure that I am very vocal about that here tonight. It was very sad that it took me calling them out before they even brought a news reporter in there just to take a look at what was going on. And then now I guarantee they have every freaking news media posted outside of Pasco County that you can imagine. They're deplorable. All for ratings and money. All for ratings and money. So I will be coming down hard on media moving forward. I thought that was disgusting. Her life mattered. So hi, everybody in the chat. I hope everything is going well for you guys tonight. I'm asking you guys, please bow your heads and say a prayer for Kathleen Moore's family tonight. She will not be with them for Christmas. This was a preventable death. This is, again, a domestic related death, another one that we have dealt with in just a few short months. And it's just sad. It's sad. It doesn't have to end this way for anybody. We need to end domestic violence. Domestic violence has rocked my world growing up and into my young adulthood. I know many people that do follow me here. It has rocked their world to the core. We are finding the end results to staying in domestic violence relationships. So before we get started and we run live with Pasco County, which they did say they would be going live on here. I don't see any updates right now. I'm monitoring their posts. We're just going to keep going forward, until we go live. Once we go live, I'm going to switch over to that page so you guys can watch it and monitor it. Hi, everybody. I see a lot of people are in here. Let's see if I can private message you. Hold on. Give me just a second. I got to try to private message somebody. Won't let me. I don't know why it won't let me private message. So irritating. Yeah. Anyways, I'm monitoring this. Trina, you need to go over to my, just a side note, downtown Trina, you need to go over to my Twitter and direct message me your email. I am going to add you as a moderator on the YouTube channel. I've got several on tonight. So I do want you to please moderate for me on future, lives. Tonight we're covered. I just want to make sure that nonsense, because the only person that matters tonight is Kathleen Moore. I want to keep that garbage that happened earlier today off this live stream. That was insane. People need to have some couth, which this world is losing every day. Kathleen's life mattered. We want to make sure we honor and respect her and her family. So even the people that are upset with me, keep your cool. This has nothing to do with me or you. This is about Kathleen and Kathleen Moore's family, and I hope you respect that. This one young woman lost her life, and I'm very upset. I don't like to do race baiting in any way, but it just really ticks me off that we have Gabby Petito in Northport, a blonde hair, blue-eyed girl. And she got all the attention in the world. And this young Black woman got none. And so I just hope everybody is respectful. Her family is, does watch this page. So, for tonight, I'm asking everybody to be very respectful in here as we go live with Pasco Sheriff on his YouTube channel. If you guys could please do that, we can bicker another day. This, again, not about me, not about you. So let's, complicated, you two, go over to my Twitter, and I need your email addresses to add you as moderators. And I will, if anybody, I will only allow the people that I know to moderate for me. So if we haven't chatted or you're new to my channel, unfortunately, until I get to know you better, I will not be allowing those people to moderate for me. Only the people that have been here for some time and that I recognize. Thank you. So I just want to thank everybody for being here. Again, it's a bittersweet moment for us tonight as Kathleen's family is suffering with this loss. And we're very thankful to the Pasco Sheriff's Office for making a quick arrest in this matter. I'm pretty sure the evidence only pointed one way. We've been out there for days, and everything just kept going back to one place and one place only, and that was Collin Knapp's home. I don't know if his roommates had anything to do with it. I can tell you, when I arrived there this morning, both roommates were no longer there. So the first day we showed up and knocked the door to get a statement from Collin Knapp, there was only the truck and the trailer there. The whole entire driveway was empty. We went back the second day. We did see him outside. We asked him where Colleen was. He had a cold, stone cold face. His body language was all off. You could just tell he knew, we knew. And he immediately tried to call the police. And of course, we were standing in the road. We did not approach his property. And therefore, there was nothing that could have been done. We stayed in the public domain, so to speak. And I just find it awfully cowardice of him to kill a young woman, not want to answer questions, and then have the audacity to call the law on people that are trying to find the answers. He's a sick, sick man. I hope he rots in hell, and I hope he rots in jail. And I don't say that lightly. So hi, everybody. Thank you guys again for being here. I see there's new people coming in. Well, not necessarily new people, but definitely, you guys are following here. Kathleen, this is what I expect to kind of happen tonight. So I expect the sheriff to come on. I expect the sheriff to identify who they arrested. And I expect the sheriff to state that it was some sort of homicide, first, second degree manslaughter, something of that nature. He's going to express the charges that are levied against Collin Knapp. And I think we're going to find out the grim news that Kathleen, on the record, the grim news on the record that Kathleen Moore is no longer with us. And we have to understand her face, her family is suffering. Her family is suffering. And again, I just want to plead my disgust with mainstream media for, one, not bringing attention to her case, and two, failing to state it was Collin Knapp arrested. They refuse to let the public know who was arrested. They know who was arrested, but they're wanting it to be public when Pasco County Sheriff decides to disclose it. That's when they will run with the name. So I am very disgusted with mainstream media all around. It's deplorable what they're doing. They're picking and choosing which cases get aired. When we have a missing person case here in Florida, they should be airing every bit of it. It's not like we have so many cases of missing people that are legitimate threats. This one was. And let me explain it just a little bit further. She disappeared. The last people that spoke to her was Monday, early morning, about 1 a.m. She was on a FaceTime with her friends. There was him and a friend that they did not recognize the guy. I don't know if it was his roommate. We assumed it was his roommate, but based upon the remorse and empathy and sympathy that his roommate expressed yesterday when we talked to him, I don't believe it was him that was there. And I could be wrong about that, but it just didn't seem that to be the case. The body language for Colin, however, was completely different. And it was prevalent. Like, it was all over his face. It was all over his face that we knew that he did something to Kathleen. And he would not look at us. He would not face us. He would not answer any questions. Even today, when he got in his car and left, his head was down. When I came by there with my camera, I was walking up and down the street with this particular clipboard right here. And when I saw him, I started recording him. He looked up, put his cigarette out, and beelined in the house. He is a coward. He is a coward. And that coward is behind bars, and hopefully he never sees the light of day again to hurt another young female, another beautiful female. He is garbage. He should have had, anger management a long time ago. I do want to give a shout out to Robin. Thank you so much. After the last podcast, if any of you know, these cases are hard. Sometimes I get emotional. And then, of course, adding insult to injury was people not caring about this young Black woman that came from another YouTuber's page and tried to overtake this with some garbage tonight. And it was very emotional for the people that are involved, And so when I got off, one of the kind people that follow me sent me Starbucks. So I do appreciate that. It's much appreciated. It really was just what I needed. As you can tell, I look exhausted. It's because I am exhausted. I'm going on little to no sleep because of this case. I only had 3 hours of sleep yesterday. The day before. I only had about 4 hours of sleep yesterday. So we're talking about 7 hours of sleep in a 48-hour period. It's very hard. So again, I hope that everybody saves their bickering and everything else for another day. I've asked my moderators, anybody that gets out of line, they're blocked. They're permanently blocked. That's all. Oh, Safari, you need to go over to my Twitter, or not, my Twitter, and give me your email as well. I need your email as well, and I'll add you. So, if somebody's not able to mod on future lives, I can get you to mod on those. So go ahead over there. And Quinny, I was going to ask you as well, because I know we're chatting in there. If you do like to mod or want to mod, just send me your information, because clearly we're going to have some problems until we fix the problems that we have. So I'm asking all my moderators tonight to block any and everybody that tries to distract from Colleen. This is her night. We should honor and respect her and her family. Her family is missing a loved one. And if anybody has a heart, you will respect that. So let's just pray to God that we can be, agree to disagree, and for one night come together to honor this young woman that is no longer with us. Her family is suffering gravely. Their hearts are broken. You can only imagine the pain of losing your child, losing your sister, losing your aunt, your uncle, or excuse me, your aunt, losing your friend. Tonight's going to be very rough on a lot of people. It's sending shockwaves through the air. I'm just asking for one night of peace to allow this program to go forward. I still haven't seen anything from Pasco County Sheriff on their live stream. Let me just see if it's on watch. If it is, we may have missed some of it, but we will definitely try to. Okay, we got some new videos. They're live now. Okay, so let's go here. I apologize. We're kind of late to the game.
Where that person is. But we're still trying to look for more information on that part.
Colin told us that Kathleen left with her backpack and just left the residence. There is no evidence that we have right now that shows that she left that residence. So Colin then, about an hour later, before he decides to go to his job, which is at Harold Seltzer's Steakhouse in Port Richey. He's a kitchen manager there, and he wanted to complete a meat inventory order around 1:30 a.m. I also want to thank Harold Seltzer's restaurant. They've done a very good job cooperating with us, providing us information, so I want to thank them very much for being a partner in this case. Kathleen, she went missing early Monday morning. We cannot find any evidence after the fact that he told us she was at his house, from that moment on. She was originally reported missing out of Pinellas County. Pinellas County got that case early Tuesday morning. Pinellas County started running with that right away. Then later on in the afternoon, they realized she was last missing in Pasco County. That's when Pasco County picks up the case. The preceding days after that early Monday morning, when everybody lost track of her, nobody's seen her. Nobody saw her at school. Nobody saw her at work. She was supposedly very active on social media. No accounts, nothing was being seen on social media. Pinellas County then pinged her phone, and there was a man who had found her phone at the Walgreens. He actually tells us that he dumpster dives, and he found that there at the Seven Springs Boulevard and Little Road. So we continue to follow up information there. So we found out through the investigation that Colin had some garments of clothes that he had taken to work at Harold Seltzer's. He then puts it in the dumpster there. We find out in the investigation. Our detectives meet up with the waste management people, asked to get all that stuff that's in the dumpster brought to a landfill, and they go through that. I can't tell you the dedication of the women and men in that unit, of the entire Pasco Sheriff's Office, but let me just emphasize in that unit right now. They were digging through the dirt. They were digging through all that mess. Think about a restaurant dumpster. They were going through it day in and day out. They were constantly going through it. There are women and men in that unit that have barely slept in the past 6 days. They have a few hours of sleep. That's how dedicated they are. We've had canines out there searching. We've had drones out searching. We've had every tool possible. We do everything. When somebody goes missing, we will put every resource out there to find them. As they were going through that search, they find his article of clothing, and they find bloodstains on it. We send those bloodstains to the FDLE. Again, I thank the FDLE biology lab. They did a phenomenal job. They worked relentlessly. They matched those blood to Kathleen. So we went back to State Attorney Bruce Bartlett's office, who got a judge to sign off on a second-degree homicide warrant for Collin Knapp, which we immediately served this afternoon. Collin Knapp, his date of birth is 6/1991. He has 10 previous felony arrests and 9 misdemeanor arrests since 2004. Some included ag assault, ag battery, and domestic violence. In that case, Kathleen was not involved. Again, our hearts and prayers pour out to the family and friends of Kathleen Moore. I know you are all searching for a better resolution, and we all were. But unfortunately, this is what we have. And so I ask God to look over all of us and to look over you, because I know you're looking for answers. I know right now you are in awful pain, and may God bless you during this time, and know that this sheriff's office is going to continue to work hard with Bruce Bartlett and the state attorney's office to ensure that justice is done in this case. And I know it won't bring her back, but at the same time, know how much she was loved by so many people in this community. And if that's the one thing that our legacy is how much we are loved by others, she has a legacy that's greater than so many of us will ever have. Again, for the fact that domestic violence occurs in every community, if you're in a domestic violence relationship, please get help. There are people that want to help you. They don't want it ending like this. For Collin Knapp, who's in this facility right now, know that there is a God. Know that he knows all the answers. And right now you have an opportunity to do something positive when you had done so much evil. Please share with us right now where Kathleen is, so we can do something for the family. We can give them some type of resolution. The other one is, anybody out there with any information, please, this is the location. If you have a tip, if you have any information, or is there anything that you could provide us, please go give this number a call. In the next hour or so, we're going to be putting up information on the Pasco Sheriff's Office Facebook page. That's going to have description of the vehicles, some more information out there that we need your assistance on. Investigations are done by working with law enforcement, not by trying to create your own investigation by yourself. If you are out there and you have information and you don't share with us, you are hindering the investigation and you're not helping her family out. Please go to Pasco Sheriff's Office page, provide us the information, call this number up. That's how we solve crimes. Because there's one thing you also have to realize. We follow the Constitution of the United States and of the state of Florida. We have to make sure that justice is done in the courtroom. We do not want to do anything or hinder this investigation or harm prosecution that will not bring justice to Kathleen. So if you want to bring justice for Kathleen, let's do it the right way. Let's work together, provide us the information so we can get the prosecution of this case and help the state attorneys out. There's, in so many cases, 99% of the cases we deal with missing and runaway people and people that go missing, we have a positive resolution, and this one we don't. But again, I give everyone out there the knowledge that the Pasco Sheriff's Office will do everything in our power for Kathleen's family, whether it's victim advocates, whether it's our chaplain corps, whether it's our prayers. And right now it's our detectives going out there to try to find out where she is. And with that, I want to bring up Sergeant Rosa. And if we were going to try to answer any questions you have, everything you have, Sergeant Rosa is going to probably fill in some of the gaps that I missed. I know he's probably tired like the rest of his team because they haven't slept. But at the same time, there's some things we can't answer because we have to make sure that prosecution is served. They do a good job in it. They will get the facts. And at the same time, there's only several people that know the facts, and we don't want to distort that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Michael Rosa, R-O-S-A. I'm a detective sergeant with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
I'm just wondering, where are you searching right now? Is there a place you're searching for her body, or any ideas where you're kind of leading you at this point?
So we've searched multiple areas, especially in the vicinity of where our suspect currently lives. We've done multiple searches. We are still searching. We are taking in tips. Like the sheriff said before, we're going to release the suspect's vehicles to everybody in the community and want people to reach out to us and see if they saw that vehicle in a certain time period. So we can also have different searches. Unfortunately, this suspect had multiple hour head start on us. So we didn't get involved in the investigation approximately 35 to 40 hours after she had gone missing. So where to search, we don't know, but we've searched multiple places. Our canine units are Our drone team has been out. We have had multiple detectives, up to 20 to 30 detectives out searching multiple different areas in Pasco County.
So
Can you
how are
spell
you
the
able, without a
suspect's
body,
first
how
and
are
last
you
name?
able to make the determination that she is deceased based on a little bit of blood evidence? How were you, other investigators, able to get determination?
So yes, there was some blood evidence that was identified as hers on our suspect's pants. However, there's lots of blood that was located during this investigation. There's more to it, sir, than just that. However, there's a lot of parts in the investigation that brought us to probable cause.
Is there
Can I
blood
get
found
the
inside
suspect's
a paintball?
spelling's name, please?
So it's Collin Knapp. And do you have that here, sir? Let me make sure I spelled it correctly. COLLIN-KNAPP.
Oh, spell that again?
First name?
Yeah, so last name.
I'm going to start over if you don't mind, sir. COLLIN for everyone. KNAPP. He's a white male, 6'19" of 91.
Is there a
Was there
reason
any
why
blood
he
evidence
wasn't
found
able to
inside
be
his-
named a person of interest or a suspect in this case earlier?
So not necessarily. So it was probably a strategy to that we were trying to keep him cooperative and keep him working with us. And probably if somebody called you a suspect or a person of interest of a crime, you probably wouldn't deal with law enforcement anymore.
Has he acted
So
as a-
no problem. So that would be the strategy of that, ma'am.
What was the first interaction with him like then? Was he not forthcoming with you guys from the beginning?
So there was multiple things that he said during his first statement of us that we found inconsistent that made us very suspicious of her whereabouts.
Has he been cooperative in any way, or is he exercising his Fifth Amendment?
So at this time, he's exercised Fifth Amendment right to be silent. He's requested an attorney at this time. However, in the very beginning of the investigation, he was cooperative. However, he was very inconsistent in his cooperation.
Based on the amount of blood and where you guys found blood, do you have any indication on possible cause of death or manner of death at this time?
Not at this time, ma'am.
Sir, how important is it to find this body to have a successful prosecution in this case?
So that would be important for multiple reasons. The most important reason to find the body is for the family. We want to find it. Obviously, we want to find the body for our investigation. However, there's been multiple investigations that have been made with a no body found in a homicide investigation.
Can you go over his previous record again? I know you talked about he has a number of felonies, and kind of give us a sense of the extent of that in the most recent time he's been a guest of the state.
He's been arrested multiple times. I know the sheriff listed off all the charges. We are looking into more details on those cases. Some of them were domestic violence. However, they weren't with this current victim, a different victim. So we are also looking into those cases as well.
But how many of the felonies, because you listed the number of felony convictions.
There you go.
Yeah, the amount of convictions I have to go back on. He has been arrested though for 10 felony and 9 misdemeanor since 2004.
10 felonies, 9 misdemeanors. He's been arrested.
Arrested for. I'm not sure about the convictions right now. I don't have that with me right now. Ag assault, aggravated assault, aggravated battery, domestic violence. I know there was some narcotics in there also charges.
Ag assault, ag battery.
Domestic violence. And I think the domestic violence was in 2013.
Had there been any previous reports of domestic violence incidents at that house while he was with Kathleen during the course of their relationship? I know it was on again, off again, according to friends.
So our suspect and victim are not very long, approximately a year. He owns that home that we are currently looking at. He and her do not have any history in our county.
Do they have history then in Penns?
No, only history of arguments and possible domestic disputes are from family and friends telling us that.
We have no idea at this point where her body may either be in Pinellas County or here in Pasco. We have no idea the location of, any idea of the region.
So no, sir. So what I can tell you is approximately 35 to 40 hours. Like I said, I hate to say it, a head start, but our suspect had 35 to 40 hours. So in theory, the body could be within that distance of time.
Do you know how long was their relationship between them?
Approximately 5 years, on and off, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Can you confirm the location of the Walgreens where her phone was found in that dumpster?
So I apologize, I don't have the actual address, but it's Seven Springs Boulevard and State Road 54.
Have you spoken to the defendant's parents yet? They might know about this case.
So we have not reached out to them. We are planning on reaching out to them in the near future.
Were there any other friends or acquaintances who were back at the address that night who might provide information as to that? Was it just her and Colin went back to the home.
So we have no evidence that anybody else was in the home during this incident.
What about the reports, friends saying that she had made a call out about trying to get an Uber? Is there any evidence she had tried to order an Uber? And with the phone, has that been helpful in accessing anything to help piece this together?
So we have the victim's phone. We also have the suspect's phone. There's no evidence that Uber came to that area at all.
I just forgot my question.
Do you know the last communication she made on her phone, whether it was a call or text that was made to?
I will not release who it was released to, but it was that evening when she was with our defendant.
Before they left the bar?
So I would be filling in the blanks, ma'am, to say that, but while they were together, most likely en route to Pasco was the last communication that we have from our victim.
Can you confirm that, was it to him or was it somebody?
It was to somebody else via text, ma'am.
Is he being arraigned tomorrow morning at all? And if so,
Yep, I believe it will probably be afternoon tomorrow.
tomorrow afternoon?
Yes, ma'am.
Any idea of how close the Walgreens is to his home?
In very close proximity,
Okay.
maybe 3-4 blocks away.
Okay.
And again, the close with his blood, that was at the stake, the Seltzers, correct? That's where that blood evidence was found?
Harold Seltzer.
Can you ask that again, please?
The blood evidence on his clothes, that was at the dumpster at the Harold Seltzers where he worked. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes, sir.
Did anything turn up in the search last week at the landfill on Friday? Did that provide any further evidence?
So yeah, so to clarify better, we had that dumpster. It's a compact dumpster that's at Mr. Seltzer's restaurant, brought to the landfill to be searched there.
So the actual clothes was found at the landfill?
Well, technically, but the dumpster was dumped out at the landfill for us to have an area to search, and then that's where we found evidence, the evidence that you're speaking of, and other evidence as well.
Is this the Harold Seltzers in Port Richey off of US 19?
Yes, ma'am. Again, I would like to say to the Harold Seltzer and his whole staff have been 100% cooperative in the investigation. Everything we've asked for them, they absolutely volunteered and helped us out with that.
As far as searching for surveillance video, any kind of footage that between his home and Harold Seltzer's or anywhere, how are you going about kind of trying to collect all that?
So that's a very hard task. We've had uppers of 20 to 30 detectives between Pinellas County Sheriff's Office and Pasco Sheriff's Office, because that's the route they took. And in our area looking for video, we've gotten lots of video.
I know he stopped for cigarettes, and that was when he claimed she was in the car.
Yes, ma'am.
Where did he stop? What's the address of that location?
It's the 7-Eleven adjacent to the Walgreens.
How well, and you may not be able to answer this, about how well have you been able to trace their paths through some of the surveillance video and footage that you have so far? How is it kind of a matter of piecing that together, his path?
It's very difficult of piecing it exactly the route that the suspect and the victim took, but we are doing the best we can trying to find that.
All right. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very
Thank
much.
you.
So there you have it, folks. A few things that we learned is that there was a large amount of blood found. I have to assume that was found in the home, that they searched thoroughly and were there for 6 hours. They found clothing. Some of the clothing had blood on it, primarily his. He had dumped some of her belongings into the dumpster. They cannot find any proof that an Uber driver was contacted nor picked up. So we did hear from family and friends that she was on a FaceTime. She at the time, Colin and her were fighting real bad. And sorry, here I've got things going on. Colin and her were fighting really, really bad. And she called friends on FaceTime to express how she needs to get out of there. And there was Colin and another unidentified gentleman in that FaceTime video that they could see in the back. They didn't know who it was. I assume that it probably wasn't the roommate that was there when we were there yesterday that spoke to us and was sympathetic and empathetic. So it is one of these things where, here, the police have done a thorough investigation. They pounced right on it. They themselves kept circling back to his story not being accurate, his story not being correct, his story changing slightly, executing search warrants and, going into the home, doing forensics, a large amount of blood was found at some location. I presume the home. There was clothing he tried to dump at his work, his place of employment, which is Harold Seltzer Steakhouse in Port Richey. They were able to take that dumpster, take it out to the landfill, and thoroughly search it. It was a disgusting, grueling process for law enforcement. However, they were able to, find the stuff that they needed to. Apparently, some DNA work or forensic, maybe blood type matching. I don't know. They said DNA, I believe, in that. I didn't catch it. I didn't take notes. I was tentatively watching. That it did match her blood. Unfortunately, tonight they do not have Kathleen. Kathleen is not going to be reunited with her family. I was hopeful that she had already been found, and that's why they made the arrest, but it wasn't. They made the arrest because of the large amount of blood that they found that I assume was in the home when they did their forensics and the search warrant of his home. So it is a sad night tonight. Kathleen's family is waking up and we're going to bed. I don't know if they're going to sleep tonight with the grim possibility that their daughter is no longer missing, but is now dead based off the amount. We have a special guest coming in here. He's finally on, so I want to just bring this live, let him go over some of the things he saw while he was out there. And this is Jonathan Riches.
Hi, Andrew. How are you? Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So I'm just going to let you kind of take over. Tell us what you saw out there. We were out there for a few days. We knew as soon as we saw Colin and his behavior that something wasn't right. So I'm just going to let you take over what you saw. And
it's absolutely disgusting and appalling. Prayers to Kathleen's family. My heart goes out to them, man. I know they're in pain right now. They could get some closure here, but it's not over. It's not over. As we all just listened to the press conference, haven't found Kathleen's body. It's still out there. We must find it. We must find it. And, we've been outside Colin's home, for the last 3-4 days. And, I've seen him multiple times, and he had every opportunity to just speak, and he didn't. And it's sick that he thought that he could get away with this, and he didn't. He's being held accountable, but it's not over. You need a body. We need to find, not only for Kathleen's family to get closure here, but, in order to get a secure conviction, you need a body. Even though they have the blood, like he said, the blood on the clothing found at Harold Seltzer's, but in a court of law, he still has to be tried. And it's hard to convict without a body. So he lawyered up. You heard the detective. He lawyered up, right away. Once he was, today. So it makes it very hard. The goal here is to secure a conviction and hold this guy accountable. This monster, this disgusting human being. And I say that because, I still can't believe, like yesterday. We had boots on the ground watching his house for the last, since Friday. Yeah. We had boots on the ground watching his house since Friday. And yesterday, we were told that he was outside his front porch with his roommate standing out there. And what did we do? We rushed right to his house. Mm-hmm. The first opportunity to speak to him. And we pulled right up to his house. 3 cars pulled right into the house. And I just instantly got up, pulled my phone out of my charger, said, "What's up? Yo, what's up? Where's Kathleen, Colin?" And he immediately cowered up. Didn't look me in the eye. He started walking back to his house. "Where's Kathleen?" You know what he said? "Oh, I'm going to call the police. Get out of my property." And then, as his roommate started explaining a little bit. But Colin went inside his house like a coward and called the police, right? So he's more concerned with calling the police on us for going to his house to ask about Kathleen than calling the police when Kathleen was missing, to report her missing. and trying to help with police. So he's worried about people asking about Kathleen. It's sick. I saw no emotion on his face. He just looked like a little, I don't want to use profanity, but the B word. He's P-U-S-S, you know what I'm saying? That's what he is. He's garbage. He's garbage, you know. And then, you know, I take this case personally, right? Because, you know, we've done missing persons cases around the country a lot in the last few months. But, you know, this one's close to home, man. This one is close to home. It's near my, you know, where I live. So I felt like it's a duty to come out and help this poor family. I don't know Kathleen's family. And I felt like it was just, I had to go out there and help them get answers, you know, and do what we did with other cases and apply it to them. But kudos to Kathleen's friends, her friends that called this in and noticed she was missing the first couple days to get the ball rolling. Yes. Even though Colin got that 36-hour head start here, but she had friends. There are friends out there. And if her friends are out there listening, kudos to you guys for listening and caring and helping your friends. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. And it got the ball rolling. And then now, you know, we've done our part and tried to hashtag her name, try to get her name circulating on social media, trying to get other media outlets to cover her case and put her name out there for people to help. And hopefully this can progress. We want answers. We want answers, and we want Kathleen found.
We did a good. We usually pressure, you know, people in some cases, but this time we actually pressured the media because they were silent. They weren't there. They weren't visible in any way, and they started becoming visible. And it's crazy because you looked at that room where Sheriff Chris Naka was, and that whole room was filled with media, and it's really upsetting.
Where were they outside Knapp's house? Because
Exactly.
they all know Knapp was the prime #1 suspect. You know, even though technically, like the at the press conference this evening, that they didn't declare him a public person of interest, but they for strategic reasons, not to scare him off. But they knew he was a person of interest, and so did the media.
Yeah.
So did the media, and they didn't even bother going knocking on his door or asking him what's up. You know, same thing I did, because that's exactly what I did on Saturday morning. Saturday morning, I went right to his house at 8:30 in the morning, and I went right up to his house and knocked on his door. And I saw surveillance cameras all around, on his house. He had surveillance cameras, and I said, "Where's Kathleen?" Colin, and I heard a bunch of dogs barking. No one was in there though. So, you know, I'm actually live streaming it, and the reason why I live streamed it is more or less for my protection, because you know you don't know what you're dealing with individuals. I just wanted witnesses and whatnot, you know, just in case somebody came out and did anything to me, I would at least have witnesses seeing. So I live streamed it, and then his next door neighbor to the left came out and started freaking out on me about being there, and I'm saying, "There's a missing girl, dude. There's a missing girl here. Where is she?" And he started becoming belligerent on me, looked like he was on drugs and all crazy. And I'm like, "Kathleen's life matter, dude. Kathleen's life matter. Where is she? Get out of here. I'm going to call the police. Get out." What? I'm dumbfounded by that, because you would think a reasonable, rational, smart, and caring people would be like, "Oh my God, what can I do to help? Mm-hmm. What can I do to help?" Neighbor across the street from Colin, she freaks out just by asking, "Where's Kathleen?" "She ain't here. She ain't here. Get out of here." Like, how do you know she's not here? How do you know? What do you know? Like, these people are very hostile, and I don't get it. And it was just like,
and it was just a few houses just
around his
house. And those
were
kind of.
Yes, and you know what I found odd about it was, like, there's like a connection between Colin, his next door neighbor, and the neighbor across the street, because they were all like, you saw the neighbor across the street walking over to that other neighbor. They all probably know each other, and it's kind of more of the scummy houses in the neighborhood, because going outside a little bit, a couple doors down, and then you branch off, what do we see? We had neighbors that actually took us out walking along that road. I don't know what that road is. Not the main one, Celtic, by that bridge, by the Antelope River Bridge, and helped us look for her and guided us and said, "Anything you can do, anything you need." This is a neighbor of Colin saying, "Listen, I'll do anything to help. If you want to initiate a search, everyone can come to my house here and you guys can plan here and we can go look for it. You guys can park at my property if you want to, you know. Another neighbor on the other side was handing out flyers the other day. You know, these are neighbors. So majority of the neighbors get it. But these people around that particular house, it just looked like it was like a Twilight Zone. It was just evil people within there, and it's crazy.
Drug element. I felt that when I was there, you know, I've seen it before. I just felt like it was a drug element. There was just a seedy element just in those few houses in and around Colin's house. But it looked like, you know, good, hardworking people. After those few houses, they kept their lawns manicured. The houses didn't look trashy. They looked kept up, you know. So
I went by the house tonight. I went by Colin's house tonight around 7 o'clock. This was a few hours after he got arrested. Nobody's there now. It's just pitch black. It's just pitch black. But I heard dogs. There's dogs in that house. Now, I'm sympathetic. I'm an animal lover, you know, and I don't know if that roommate, Esteban, that was living there with him with the white Hummer, I don't know if he's going back there or maybe he's involved. I don't know, but he's not there. There's dogs in that house right now. So he's arrested. So I think I might want to contact maybe animal control tomorrow or maybe even tonight and just let them know, hey, you know, you got a guy that got arrested. He lives with a roommate. I don't know anyone else in the house, but you got dogs in that house right now.
Right. Right.
You know, to save the dogs, save the animals.
They need to figure that out. They can't have that dog just sitting in there without any food or water. So, and since he was planning on coming home, that is a concern for that animal. And we always want to make sure the animals are safe.
So I'm actually connected with more of Kathleen's friends on Facebook. I don't know names offhand, but there was people out there looking for her today. Some of Kathleen's friends were up there around Knapp's house. And they were also with some of Pasco County sheriffs because she was showing me pictures. And they were out there looking. So if you're out there, I don't know your names offhand because I just met you, but God bless you guys. God bless you for taking your time in the day to come up from Pinellas County, Florida, all the way up to Pasco County, 45 minutes away, and spend the evening and afternoon looking for your friend. I mean, that's what it's about. And I hope this can continue. I want her to be found. The family needs closure, that type of closure. Her body needs to be found. So, I mean,
she needs to be reunited with her family. You know, she needs to be, you know, laid to rest. She needs
life mattered. Yeah. Her life mattered. Now, you know, we were out. I still, you know, there's some places like anyone that's watching, you know, if you want to go around and search, there's a particular vast amount of land right behind Collin Knapp's house. It's half swamp, half wooded area. You could go around the back if you Google map and go on to what is that called? Creek Road. It's Creek Road.
Yes,
you can park,
Creek Road.
You can park there. It's a dirt road. You can park there and go in there because this is directly behind Collin's house. Now, we've heard Pasco County Sheriff say they've done drone surveillance and also canine searches and stuff, but we don't know how thorough that is. Maybe, you know, they didn't see, you know, overlook something, but that's a place, you know, worth looking because it's directly behind his house, you know. So, you know, I encourage people to go there, you know, all over there on Celtic, along the sides of Celtic, going up to the Anclote Bridge, River Ridge before you hit 54. There's a lot of wooded area there. As people know, there's the Anclote River there where the Walgreens and the 7-Eleven is there, right back at 7-Eleven. It just goes, you know, she could be back there. And then also, you know, the route between, since it's now public that clothes of Colin's were found in the dumpster at Howard Seltzer's, that maybe you can map out between his house and Harold Seltzer's. I believe it is a 20-minute drive because I drove there after Colin. I was out there this afternoon around 3-ish. I was down on 54 and 7 Springs under that bridge area there looking for her. And then I got news from my source before it got public that he got arrested. And then I did some further digging and, you know, found out that he got arrested at his job, Harold Seltzer, which I thought at the time he was taking a leave of absence. I thought they told him not to go, but apparently he went today. So then I called Harold Seltzer's just to confirm if anyone got arrested there, and they did confirm with me, but they said no comment anymore, and we're not at liberty to say details. So then I knew something happened. So I went from there down I went from Knapp's house there, searching in that area, to Harold Seltzer's to see what's up, and in the meantime, I was texting the Pasco County Sheriff's Public Information Officer, Amanda, who I've spoken to for the last couple of years on different cases, who's very nice and responds to me and lets me know, she's pretty real when it comes to, getting the information out there. And she confirmed with me instantly that he got arrested and there'll be an 8 p.m. press conference. So I went up to Harold Seltzer's, and when I went there today, his car was still there. So he got arrested probably about 3:30 in the afternoon today. 3:30 in the afternoon. I got up there about 4:30. So it was an hour earlier he got arrested, but the car was still there. The Cadillac, his Cadillac was there in the parking lot. So I get out and start, taking pictures of it to document that it's there. And some coworker saw me and then started talking to me. The coworkers started talking to me. His coworkers.
I'm interested in, did she know anything? Did she say he was
So
acting?
there were 3 male coworkers. One was his boss. One was his boss. So they actually said very good things about him. They said that, he's never done anything violent. They said he's a big teddy bear. He's actually, cooked food for them. He's at everybody there. He was very nice. He was always the first one to come to work and the last one to leave. He worked hard. They actually said good things about him. So they were shocked that somebody could do this. But you know what? They all instantly said, all 3 of them said alcohol and drugs. Alcohol and drugs was probably the cause of this, whatever like that. But I think it's more. I don't think it was just alcohol, because Colin has an extensive criminal record. No, he hasn't been arrested in the last few years. He has domestic violence charges. He has, drug charges, whether it's possession or selling. I think the sheriff said tonight it was like multiple felonies, like 9-time felon or whatever like that. 9-time felony arrest.
Kind of 9 or 10.
Yeah, so he has a lot of arrests for but the last couple of years he has been arrest free. So I just think it's a combination of his criminal element still with him, the alcohol, the drugs, he probably abused Kathleen mentally all the time. Obviously we talked to some people who've said, I don't know if I should say personal details. Is that okay? Or
if they're, we do just remember that we do have family of hers that is watching this page. So if it's respectful, then I don't see any problem with it.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but they said that Kathleen, had a couple miscarriages from Colin. I don't know the truth to that. She was seen with some bruises from him in the past and stuff like that. The sheriff said tonight that they had no history of any domestic violence issues in Pasco County, but friends of them said they've seen domestic violence issues between one another in Pinellas County. Worth noting that Colin is originally from Pinellas County. All his arrests are from Pinellas County. His arrests are not from Pasco County. He used to live in Clearwater with his sister, Chelsea, and he used to work at the Kobe Japanese steakhouse there by the Countryside Mall in 19. His sister lived like 5 minutes from there. So, he had a job in Pinellas County. He lived with his sister in Pinellas County. So within the last year, I think about a year, he bought that home in Pasco up there. He bought the home with his sister, because his sister's listed as, also on the home ownership. It's him and his sister, but he bought the home. I think he quit the job at Kobe Japanese Steakhouse, got a new job in Pasco County at Harold Seltzer Steakhouse. And then this summer he opened up a landscaping side business, and then he brought in that roommate to live with him. So he had a roommate, he lived alone or owned his own house. Sister still living in Clearwater. So he kind of moved away from Pinellas County up to Pasco County, while Kathleen kind of remained in Pinellas County, with their job and her friends down there in the Largo area. So that's an hour difference, that's an hour difference. So I don't know much details within the last year of their relationship within the last year of when he moved, how often he saw her, if it was the same as when he was living down there in Pinellas County, because they've been together on and off for 5 years. They've known each other.
Right.
And I believe they all met at Applebee's.
Right.
I might be wrong there, but that's what I was told.
Yeah. And we've been bouncing around about this boyfriend fling. I guess it really doesn't matter. I'd have to think bouncing back and forth between somebody for 5 years, it would probably be more in line with like a boyfriend versus a fling. But we've been receiving a lot of information that this was more of a fling than a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. Also, a quick question. How do you feel about Colin's car not being processed? Like, why is it still there and not being towed?
There could be evidence in there. Exactly. I mean, even the big trailer and the truck in front of his house. I mean, that could have evidence. It could have clues, anything. I have no idea. Did the forensics just go through it when they were at this house on Friday evening? Did they just go through it and just get what they got? And yeah, that's a great question. There could be stuff in there. There could be clues in there. There could be some sort of, technology in there, devices in there that could track the movements of the car, to pinpoint where the car has been, to kind of, get an understanding of where Kathleen could be.
Yeah, especially if we had to move her. I didn't even think about that. I was just thinking of the car, even though we saw the truck and trailer sitting in the front of the yard. I mean, a trailer is a good place to tuck something and drive with nobody even thinking twice about it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the question I have is, they say his clothes were found in the dumpster at Harold Seltzer's, right? His clothes with blood, right? So, I mean, when he goes to work, I'm assuming he goes to work in the Cadillac, correct? Not the truck.
Yeah.
I mean, is it possible that he put Kathleen in the trunk or in the car and took her and disposed her somewhere in that car between, here and between his house and Harold Seltzer's? I don't know.
Right.
Or did he just do the nice, easy, convenient way and did, somewhere close to him? Because my gut tells me that Kathleen is somewhere within a mile of his house. That's just my gut.
Yeah.
And you saw me out there. I was just relentlessly looking and feeling, and understanding, because we were on the Brian Laundrie case, and the same thing. I knew he was out in that preserve somewhere, and my gut just kept going back there, saying he's out here somewhere, dead or alive. And he ended up being exactly where we thought he was going to be. We couldn't pinpoint it.
We were 1,000 yards away from him.
Yeah. So for people that are looking, I don't want to be real graphic here, but it's been a week. You just, when you're looking, look for where buzzards are or flies or different, if you hear insects and stuff like that in a large area, you see things. I mean, that can leave clues, and to try to pinpoint where she is, and it could help.
Disturbed ground,
disturbed ground. He could have, whatever he did and how he did it that night, he could have just took a shovel with him and just buried her somewhere so there could be loose dirt somewhere, mound of dirt, we talk about an alcohol and intoxication element to this, and I saw the video. I saw the video of him on the night of the 28th on Sunday. I saw one of the last videos. He was down at a bar or club down in Pinellas County. He was dancing. He was wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers, I think it was Steelers or Pirates, Pittsburgh sport outfit. And he looked drunk. He looked like, but he didn't look angry or anything, but he started looking like he was like kind of drunk. Like you could tell in his feet and his shuffling. So, whatever happened later on that night, whether he sobered up or continued to drink or do drugs, if he killed her that night, which I'm assuming he did, getting rid of her, he's intoxicating on drugs. He's probably not thinking he's not rational as it is, but he's probably not thinking at all in a sense of where to put a body, unless he put her somewhere and then a day or two later, got her and put her somewhere else.
Right.
And we know people have done that before in those type of crimes, put a body somewhere and then a day or two later, remove it again and put it somewhere else. I mean, because you're talking from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think she started being reported on Thursday, or was it Friday?
I believe it was Thursday. I know it was right away because.
But he still had those. He still had that.
Actually, I think it was earlier than that because I think it was. I don't recall. I know somebody called her friend. I think it was like 2 days later and said that she's missing. And her friend said, "What do you mean she's missing? She was just here for Thanksgiving." So it was just a few short days since she had just seen her. So I really don't recall the specific date. You could be right. I don't know. My brain's not.
No, but he had a few days. He could have did something temporarily and then sobered up and then realized, oh God, what am I going to do now? And then more the cover up and re-put her body. So I spoke again yesterday when I went to his house. His roommate, Esteban. And when Colin went in, when I asked him about where's Kathleen, he didn't talk. He went in, said he's calling the police. Esteban actually sat out there and talked for a second. He said, "Yo, bro, we cooperated fully. I know nothing, man. I know nothing." But you know what he did say? He said the last time I saw her was Saturday. He said the last time he saw her was Saturday, which would have been the 27th.
Yeah. Right.
And we all know that Kathleen went back to the house there on the night of the 28th into the 29th, or maybe even the 29th, early morning on the 29th, 1 a.m., 12:30-ish, whatever. But Esteban said he hadn't saw her since the 27th, Saturday. Mm-hmm. So the question is, he has a roommate there, and we're always thinking, hey, was the roommate involved, or was there somebody else involved in the house there that saw it, whatever like that? Was Esteban there the night it happened, or did he really not see her? Saturday was the last time he saw her, and then maybe he went off with his girlfriend, the Angie girl, the Angie Harmon girl, go off with her somewhere else because he has kids, and not be at that house on that Sunday and Monday. So he really is in the not know, and then he's just going off what Colin told him, hey, I'm not involved, whatever. And Esteban's saying, all right, that's
a second. I got a somebody's got a just give me a second. Somebody said they sent me a mugshot in my
yeah, I found his mugshot. I actually got it sent to me. I put it out there already.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I posted it.
And the sheriff said that he got a 36 or 40 hour head start on them. So
he did.
They're saying Tuesday. It was Tuesday that they jumped on it and said there was something wrong. Their friend was missing, and Kathleen never came back to her friend's house to pick up her car.
Yep. And as you know, her friend said, that's, it's not. She does leave her car there once in a while, but for her not to come, go to work the next day and not come back, and that's concerning, and that red flags everyone draw up real quickly, and they were like, oh, she's not, something's wrong, and then call the Pinellas. They called the Pinellas County sheriffs who started it, and then it got up to Pasco, and obviously we know probably the crime itself of murder was committed in Pasco County. Yeah. So Pasco County, again, we'll go back into legal stuff, and I know a little bit about legal things. I do think it would be difficult to prosecute without a body. However, there probably is some leverage for him because they could threaten him with the death penalty and say, if you do tell where she's at and reclose her, we'll give you life. Yeah. So that there's a bar, because he probably knows he's going to get life anyway.
Well, they did say that there was a large amount of blood. I'm assuming that they found that inside his home. They did not state the location they found this large amount of blood, but if that amount of blood was large enough and the DNA comes back as hers, and they can prove that there's no way somebody could humanly, be alive with that amount of blood out of their body, that might very well be able, it's still a tougher case. I mean, you always want, but we want to unite Kathleen Moore with her family. But there are instances where, there have been a conviction without a body.
Of course, it's hard. Yeah, but you know what else I thought was interesting? That I maybe because it reserves the right to upgrade the charges, but it wasn't the only charge with second-degree homicide tonight. I think that's what he said: second-degree homicide. Why not first-degree murder? Why not first-degree murder?
Yeah.
Does that mean it's just enough for probable cause to hold him till they build more of a case, and then
they so far have not found premeditation, which goes along with the first degree murder charge. So that might not be it. If it was spur of the moment, they got in a fight, it heated, it blew out of proportion, which he's been expressing the whole time. He has acknowledged that they had a bad fight that night, and that's why she left the home. But they also said that an Uber driver was called, and they finally confirmed that there is no evidence of Uber being called or Uber showing up at that location.
Here's another thing too. Everyone was speculating that he lawyered up a couple days ago. That's not true. He lawyered up tonight for the first time. And when he said he wanted a lawyer, that's implying that he has a public defender. He's asking for a public defender. Now, I've read his prior criminal cases, all his criminal cases. He's never had a paid attorney. They were all public defenders representing him. So he doesn't have a lot of money.
Yes.
He doesn't have a lot of money to get a lawyer on this. So he's going to be represented by a public defender. You talked to his mother and father. You saw them. You asked them down there at their home down in Largo, right? They live in Largo, Florida.
Yep.
They're down there, and it seems like the family doesn't want anything to do with him or doesn't have an involvement in his life.
Yeah, they saw him that Sunday, and but they were very sympathetic. You got to remember they have a 19-year-old daughter, so they were very sympathetic to the Moore family. The mom was breaking down and crying while I was there speaking to her. She didn't know what to say. It's very hard. This is sad because they really had no clue. And it's sad to say that they've been, even Sheriff Naco had expressed that they've been off and on for 5 years. These parents told me that they never laid eyes on Kathleen. They didn't even know about her. I doubt that they even knew about her pregnancies or anything of that nature. So they were shocked. I mean, just absolutely shocked that this could be going on. It's like they woke up one day to this nightmare. And, my heart really does go out for Colin's mom and dad that they're having to deal with this themselves. They had nothing to do with it. They seemed very good people. They seemed
and they even talked to you. They talked to you too. They weren't
resistant speaking to me either.
It's a difference between them and the Laundrie parents, Brian Laundrie's parents. Very cold, calculated, don't want to talk. I watched the videos and you described it to me. They actually talked, and they probably would talk to media too. I'm not saying media should go ask them questions, but I feel like they're victims too. I agree with that assessment. I think Colin's parents are victims in this too, and I don't think anyone should have any animosity towards them.
No.
At all. I don't know anything about his sister. I don't know anything about his sister.
She's just younger. I think she handled herself well with me when I came to the door. She wasn't rude. She wasn't angry or agitated, but she didn't want to talk about it. It's got to be very hard for her too. Now, I know your time is coming up, but I do want to address one last thing with you, and I don't know how you want to address it. And that is, yesterday when we were out looking for Kathleen and any information, we were out in the woods, you ran across two individuals, and just want to get your reaction on that, because we were under the impression that these were true family members of hers. We come to find out that was not the case. Did you want to make any comment on that?
I mean, I saw a woman handing out flyers, and I said, "Ma'am, what's up? What are you doing?" And then she instantly told me that she was Kathleen's mother. And I said, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm so sorry. I'm here." I gave her a hug, and then I didn't question her at that point anymore, And I didn't, she was a white lady. You know, and I'm not going to just assume, hey, a white lady can't be Kathleen's mother, because I don't know anything about her. You know, I don't know her family or anything like that. She could have been adopted, or, you know, I don't know. Maybe she's biracial. I did not know. So I just assumed what she told me. And I'm not going to, you know, be disrespectful when she's out there with handing flyers to question her more. Oh, are you sure you're Kathleen's mom, or, you know what I mean? And undermine her. No, I'm there to help. So I just took it at face value. You know, and she showed us different spots behind the 7-Eleven and clothes and stuff like that. And then she kept referring that Kathleen was her daughter. You know, I got her, you know, and I interviewed her. I interviewed her for like 30 minutes, and she said multiple times, I am Kathleen's mother. You know, so I mean, it is, you know, that's what I assumed. So, you know, I started putting some tweets out there saying, hey, I talked to Kathleen's mother. You know, and I was working with her to hand out flyers because that's what the information was given to me, you know, by her. The other female with her, I believe her name was Jessica, whatever like that. She's implying that, you know, she's Kathleen's sister. So, you know, it's a sister mother thing. Maybe she wasn't. See, I can't remember because I didn't interview her or record her to know. And maybe she said, maybe, you know, I call her my sister or whatever like that. But the fact that she was calling Diane, the other woman who said the mother, her mother, I'm assuming it's a mother sister, and that's their Kathleen's family, you know. So I am friends with some of Kathleen's friends on Facebook. You know, friended them during this tragedy. You know, to just, you know, help them and provide them any information possible. And then, you know, I told them and you know, in Messenger, hey, I was out with Kathleen's mom today, and they're like, what? You know what I mean? What are you talking about? You know, and then you know, Kathleen's mom's here, you know, she's down here, she's not, you're not out here. And then I started sending them pictures of this woman saying, is this Kathleen's mom? They're like, no. They're like, this lady, you know, known Kathleen for a long time, but she just spent Thanksgiving with her, but that's it. You know, it's not her mom or whatever. So then I got kind of mad because I felt like I was deceived and duped. You know, even though they were out there, I will give them credit. They were out there handing out flyers for like 3 hours and 4 hours, you know, and they were very emotional and stuff like that. But it just didn't make sense. You know, in hindsight now, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why they would do that. And then, you know, you know, we're out there handing out flyers, and we've seen firsthand the behaviors of Colin to make us think that Colin did it. He's suspect number one. He did it. Then they go to his house, and then they go to his door, and Colin lets them in, like he knows them. And then I was just like, what? And then he came out, and I believe they told you, oh, well, you know, there's kids in there. We should leave them alone. We should stay away from the house here. Give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, there's no evidence saying he did anything. Let's go focus on finding Kathleen and trying to draw us away from this guy when we were feeling like pressure on this guy might crack the case. So, you know, it's a lesson learned. You know, I don't want in future references, you know, victims, because I try to help victims. I don't want to kind of have to vet a victim to make sure they are who they are. It just was bizarre.
I have to say, I personally left them after that statement was made because it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Personally, when she spoke to me about Colin, it's like, you know, how can you have a 30-minute conversation and just clear him of all charges? And then here we are 1 day later, and he's arrested for second-degree murder. You know, and I said on an earlier, when I went live, when I found out he was arrested, like, you know, I kind of got mad. I'm like, I'm not mad at you, but I am like, you know, how dare you? You know, I mean, how dare you?
You know what? You know, and then I just have this on my mind too. And these Pasco County sheriffs, man, these guys are good, man. They're good. They really are good. I mean, you could say what you want on how you feel about law enforcement out there, but these Pasco County sheriffs, man, they're sophisticated. They really are. And you know, sometimes I get critical of them on Twitter and call them out saying, hey, did you do this, do that? But they probably most likely already did. I mean, they have a state-of-the-art technology and surveillance systems, and, you know, and I mean, these people are good. The sheriff there are good, and they'll find things out, and they get to the bottom of things really quickly. And I will say kudos to them from kind of solving this and getting this guy off the street as soon as possible, not like drag it out, you know, and you know, these guys are good.
And they never came for Brian Laundrie, and well, he was gone before they actually found Gabby, but they should have had him. They should have had him arrested, you know, quick. They could have found some stupid chumped up charge to put him in jail. You know, with the credit cards, the vehicle, you know, they could have found something. Even if that charge wasn't a convictable charge, they could have found something, in my opinion. And they didn't do that. This one, they did their work. They did it very quickly. They did it very strategically, and they got their man.
So what is your take on Mr. Esteban, the roommate, that said to us, oh, we cooperated, we don't know nothing now. Now, do we consider him a liar? Do we consider him a victim? Do we?
Well, this is
because what else does he know? Does he know where the body is?
Yeah. Well, first of all, when we talk to a source, we'll just say a source because I don't know what I'm allowed to say and what I'm not. But when we talk to a source, that person told us that when Kathleen was on the FaceTime, they could clearly see Colin and another man in the background, but they could not identify that man. Either they didn't know him, or maybe that was a message from a message, you know, from a friend to a friend. But, you know, it could have been the roommate. However, the problem I have is that, you know, the roommate seems so empathetic and so sympathetic. When we talked to him, he really truly looked like he had no clue and he really believed his friend. But when we got there this morning, the two things that were missing were both the roommates. Both the roommates' cars were not there when we arrived first thing this morning. And I keep wondering, you know, did they say they couldn't handle this anymore and move out? Did they start seeing some strange behavior in Colin that made them think again?
His story didn't make sense. His stories, they poked holes through his own story, and they were like, "Yo, dude, you probably did it. I'm bouncing. I'm getting out of here." You know what I mean? And
it makes you wonder: did they turn the lights off and see luminol in the house lit up like a Christmas tree?
You know, the roommate has children. Yeah. I believe he's in a relationship with another female that's had his children. You know, I mean, he's probably thinking of his children. He's like, I can't get involved with this. I can't do this. This is if he's innocent, you know, per se. Like he probably said, I'm leaving. I'm out. I'm not dealing with this.
And I could personally say if something like that happened with one of my roommates, I'd be like, I'm not getting involved in this, you know, and I'd be just don't involve me in a crime. I'll be preaching. Like, I don't want anything to do with it. Let me tell you, I'd be vomiting information if I knew it. You know, I would want to make sure I'm as clean as a whistle. Like, this is some serious stuff.
All right. So the hunt is on. Justice for Kathleen and her family. God bless.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, got some answers, and we'll keep fighting. We'll find her. That's the goal here, and it will work out. God bless.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. So you guys just heard that was Jonathan Lee Riches. He was out with me for several days. We met at the location. I have to tell you, he was not with me when I was there at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got up. I left this house, had to drive an hour and a half over there. And I sat on that house watching that house. As soon as I realized that all those vehicles were there, we did not, you know, I did not leave. He pulled up with the camera in my face, no makeup on, exhausted because I only had 3 hours of sleep. And he's like, so how long have you been here? You know, recording it. And I'm just like, seriously? But of course, I answered his questions and didn't do the serious thing. Wait, what? I think you're right. I think there's going to be more people because I'm telling you, you know, this comes back with she was a very, you know, tall girl. I don't, you know, there was another gentleman in that house at the time. Was it the roommate? Was it not the roommate? I don't know. But there is a possibility that there was a third guy there that was not the roommate, that was just a friend. Could have been that crazy next door neighbor that we ran into the first day that we were there. But at any rate, There was it wasn't just them two in that house. There was a third person at some point when she made the call to her friends on FaceTime. And so there may be a second person getting arrested that was involved. There may have been a really close friend of him that, helped him after the fact. That's still a crime, and I just want you guys to, I'm going to put this on. I want you guys to review this footage. This is the sister that was a friend telling us basically to back off Colin. I just wanted everybody to see this. So just give me a few moments.
He's literally getting that.
She's telling us not to harass him right now. This is a man that's possibly killed her friend that she's known since she was a child.
Automatically pointing the finger at him without even giving him a chance to talk. So just his neighbors would like I said, I'm gonna search this neighborhood, but I want to keep it peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
And let's take it downwards.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not. They have there's kids involved in it. Okay?
Yeah.
So let's not make it traumatize children.
Right.
All right. You can't always assume just because I don't know if you know about records or anything. Just because someone has a bad past doesn't always mean that they're a bad apple. Mm-hmm. Until there's proof that it's him, let's stop pointing a finger and start asking, where's Kathleen? What happened to her?
Yeah, that's what Jonathan's trying to do.
Let's just look that way. He didn't want to answer because of the way the way it was presented, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. He still doesn't want to talk to me if he is working with the police on this. Mm-hmm. There's family involved. Yeah. Okay, that's why he's scared not just for himself, but for. I'm Jessica.
Okay, I'm Lisa.
Nice to meet you, Lisa.
You also want to do online?
Okay, sorry. I was just talking. Let's get away from Collins in their neighbor's house. We're gonna search, but I want to there are kids that live here.
Okay.
So you want to be respectful of the neighbors and of their privacy. Just like I just told her, he is working along with the police, whether or not anybody knows it. He's getting harassed, death threats. Everybody's automatically pointing a finger before they know, just because of his past history. You can't keep pointing until it's there. So let's look for her and do it the right way. I don't know if that makes sense. You can't always just assume just because someone has a record that it's them. Just because he was the last one that's seen her. Huh?
I agree with that.
So,
Everybody has records.
exactly. So, and there are kids involved, and that's one reason why he's wanting privacy.
Oh, you're talking. So again, that was the girl that was good friends with Kat. She spends 30 minutes and all of a sudden, he's this good guy. He's got death threats. He lied about the Uber driver. He's probably lying to them for sympathy about these death threats. And, this is why if they were going to go into the home, I would have liked to have been present. I always try to record the conversation just so I can go back and review it. As many of you know, I do not stream everything that is recorded online, and was not even going to stream that online until I found out that, there was a little bit of deception and, a little disrespect to Kat's biological family. And I shouldn't even have to say biological family, because they should be the only family. These people should have told us that they were very close friends, that they consider her a sister and a daughter. And that's the way it should have been approached to us. I mean, Jonathan has a video of her coming up and saying, I am her mother, and again, you in a situation like this, you don't, give them a Spanish Inquisition. In a situation like this, you take it as face value. Who would lie about being somebody's mother? But whenever somebody is missing or dead, you got to show that their family some respect and say, I'm very close to her. I love her like a daughter. That would have been much more respected. I'm sure they're getting a mess of backlash right now, which I don't want to inspire in anyone. I don't want anybody, if you know her personally, do not reach out to her and give her backlash. I'm sure they realize now, hindsight's 2020, that they should have been a little clearer about, their relationship with Kathleen Moore. We would have still helped them pass out flyers. We were out there for help. We were happy to see other people out there, because for hours upon hours, it was just Jonathan and myself searching woods, getting our legs cut up by briars. We were both in shorts. We weren't prepared. Had I known we were going to go, into the woods and stuff like that, I would have wore jeans. I would have wore boots. I would have made certain provisions so that my legs didn't get cut up, because I went through that with Brian Laundrie, and I knew exactly what I was getting into. And I knew what I was getting into when we went searching, but by that time it was too late. I'm 2 hours away from home. I've got no clothes to change into. So it's not like I could just run home and change my clothes and get back out there. So I had to do what I had to do. And that means my legs look like it went through a meat grinder from all the thorns and everything else that you can imagine during that search. So we were out there. We will be going back out there. Obviously, we are trying to find Kathleen Moore. We're trying to reunite her with her family. As you heard tonight on the live, there was a large amount of blood. They did not disclose the location. It is presumed possibly in the home when they did the forensic analysis of the home and collected evidence. There is no proof that the Uber driver was called or she got in a vehicle with an Uber driver. He at one point told law enforcement she packed a bag and took off out the door, but there was no evidence of that. They also said that at Harold Seltzer, or I think it's Harold Seltzer. I don't know this. The steakhouse in Port Richey. He had disposed of some clothes of his that were bloody, and some additional clothing of hers to dispose of it. Obviously, they found the cell phone. Her cell phone was found by a homeless man in the dumpster of the Walgreens off 7 Springs and State Road 54. That was turned over to them. There's a lot of things going on. So no Uber, cell phone in a dumpster, her clothing in his work garbage, and clothing of his that were bloodstained in his work garbage. They have not been able to locate her body, but based upon the amount of blood, they have been able to charge him with second-degree murder. Tonight, he is in jail. There are some mugshots of him tonight popping up on social media. I have not had an opportunity to acquire those, because as soon as I had an opportunity, I came live to you guys. And I have really just been working around the clock trying to get as much information out there to the public as possible. Again, it's a sad night for the Moore family. We want to keep them in our prayers, and we want to help reunite Kathleen Moore with her family. And if there's anything that, we can do as a team here, we are going to. We would like to also maybe help coordinate search teams to go out. We are, obviously the sheriff is wanting some information about her potential whereabouts. We don't know. We're hopeful that the gentleman that was with him that night might be able to provide some more clarity on what actually happened and where she may be. I'm hoping that Colin decides to step up to the plate and do the right thing for his friend, his girlfriend, somebody that he's obviously potentially had 2 children with, that, she had miscarried. He needs to, the gig's up. So hopefully we pray that he finally does the right thing, so he lessens the burden upon himself at this point. It seems like they've done a great job investigating this case. They've got enough evidence to get a warrant for his arrest for second-degree murder. We just hope that we really just hope that he does the right thing. Now, Tracy did bring up a point. He told them that he went to the store around 1:30 a.m. to work. He needed to check that kitchen, needed to check, the meat inventory, so to speak. As the kitchen manager at Harold Seltzer, I hope I'm saying it right. I don't know if I've got the right, if I'm saying the right. I know it starts with an H. It's not Sam Seltzer. It's, I think, Harold Seltzer. At any rate, there might be a path from his home over to his work that he took where he may have dumped the body. It's sad that we are calling Kathleen Moore a body. Unfortunately, it's that clinical at this point. We need to reunite Kathleen Moore with her family. Her family is suffering. They're going to suffer a very long time. While other people are buying Christmas gifts to put under the tree, they're going to be preparing to put their baby girl to rest. So I ask that everybody please keep them in your prayers tonight. I just want to thank everybody that kept it respectful on this channel tonight out of respect for the family. I just want to tell you, thank you very much. We all can agree to disagree, but sometimes we just need to leave our issues at the door for certain causes. This is one of them. And I just want to say thank you to everybody out there that chose to be respectful of this. And when they couldn't, they didn't have to be. So I do Harold Seltzer's Steakhouse. There it is. Thank you, Safari. Harold Seltzer Steakhouse. So again, I just want to thank everybody for watching. It's been a very long day. Thank you again, Robin. Much appreciated. Not only did I buy coffee, I bought myself some dinner. So one less thing to cook. Again, you're my lifesaver tonight. I really do appreciate it. But folks, I'm tired. And obviously with this heating up and, we have someone to find, we need to go ahead and, get to work. I've got to get some sleep. So I am well rested and can work tomorrow and, help bring answers to a family. And we want to thank again, we back the blue. We want to thank the Pasco Sheriff's Office for doing an amazing job getting on this case very quickly, solving it very quickly. We still have one need left here tonight. We still need to reunite Kathleen Moore with her family. With that, everybody, again, I thank you. I thank your beautiful people, and God bless you. Please hold your family a little closer tonight. Remember, tomorrow is never promised. Have a good night.